Hey, you're listening to the Riverdale podcast. This is episode number 94. My name is Jonathan. Welcome to lovely Riverdale, USA. This is a weekly Archie Comics fan podcast. We update every Saturday morning, and every week we bring you great stuff from the world of Archie Comics. This week we are breaking format more than ever before. I guess I have a very hectic week this week. We're reaching the end of the year. So we're going to go over a few cool things in the world of Archie Comics, and then as a special Christmas time surprise, a special year-end treat, I'm going to present to you an episode of the classic 1940s Archie radio show. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. First of all, running down, I just have a few notes I want to go over before we get to the classic radio show. First of all, we're on a really wacky shipping schedule. This year, Christmas falls on a Wednesday, and New Year's Day falls on a Wednesday. I believe we'll be getting books on New Year's Day. I'm not sure. We are not getting books on Christmas. We're getting a limited number of books in comic shops on the 24th. I don't believe we're going to see anything from Archie next week. They released a bunch of stuff in the digital store this week. Head over there. If you read your books digitally, you've got a lot of Archie stuff waiting for you. And I'm not sure when those issues are going to see print. I would assume they're going to be the first or second week of the new year. I want to make sure you guys know, I talked about this last week, I want to remind you guys that over at archiefans.com, Luke has again put together the Archie Awards. So head over there and vote on a bunch of different categories in the Archie Awards. And when those wrap up after the first of the year, he's going to tally the votes and announce all the winners. So that's cool stuff. If you're excited about Archie Comics, and you've got to be if you're listening to this, you want to be over at archiefans.com voting on the Archie Awards. And while you were at archiefans.com, you're going to want to look for that thread from Archie Comics themselves, the official Archie Comics voice. Archie Comics official is the handle that they're using on the site. Archie Comics is soliciting our input on the upcoming Best of Archie, Betty and Veronica. The Best of Archie books are the massive, 400, 500 page, they're basically a monstrous digest of classic old stories. And what differentiates the Best of series from other books that they do is that each of the stories has a little introduction written by generally someone who works within the offices, someone who really likes that particular story and has chosen it. And they go by decade in each of these volumes. So you'll get some classic 40s stories, 50s, 60s, right up through modern stuff that came out even, the year prior. I believe with Best of Archie Volume 2, we got some of Giselle's work from the prior summer. So that's cool stuff. And they want to know what we want to see in the new Best of Archie book, which is dedicated to the stories about Betty and Veronica. So if you have a favorite Betty and Veronica story, head over to archiefans.com and let Archie know they want our opinion on this one. And I think that's pretty rad. Other than that, I think that's everything to get to in terms of news. I want to wish everyone who's celebrating this coming week a Merry Christmas. It's going to be a great Christmas for me. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Super, super excited. It's going to be a great new year. Lots of exciting stuff coming up. I'm not sure what next week's show is going to look like without new books coming out, but I think it's going to be a lot more like our regular show. If this is your first time listening, as I said, this is not indicative of our regular shows. Head back to next week's show to get a good idea of what's going on. But I guess that's going to do it for this week. I am excited to bring you this classic episode of the Archie radio show. If you're not familiar with this ran for around 10 years, from the late 40s to the late 50s. There's lots of great resources online to read up on this. I love this stuff. I've listened to all of the episodes that I can find. I really, really enjoy it, and I hope that you enjoy it too. And with that, I'm going to leave you to it. It's a classic episode from 1947. This is entitled Going to Bed Early. And I guess the less said, the better. I hope you guys enjoy it. Write me a note. Let me know what you think. Again, Merry Christmas. I will talk to you again after Christmas, before New Year, next Saturday. And that's all for now.
Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Oh, relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, here he is again, the youngster millions of readers of Archie Comics magazine know and love so well. Archie Andrews and all his gang. Well, it's evening as we look in on the Andrews home, an especially quiet and peaceful evening. We find the entire family sitting in the living room. Mr. Andrews is reading his newspaper. Mrs. Andrews is doing some sewing. And the pride and joy of the Andrews family, our boy Archie, is reading a comic book. Yes, all is indeed peaceful and quiet in Riverdale tonight. But for how long? Well...
Fred. Fred,
Yes, dear.
what time is it?
Time? Oh, it's exactly... It's exactly... Archie. Archie.
Yes, Dad?
I am trying to tell your mother the time, so if you must laugh, do it more quietly, please.
Oh, okay, Dad.
Mary, it's exactly... Oh, fine. Archie,
Okay, Dad, okay.
Okay. Mary, it's exactly 9 o'clock. Why?
Oh, no reason, dear. Just happen to wonder what time it is.
Oh, fine.
Gee, that was a swell story in this comic book. Dad,
Yes, Archie?
what time is it?
Oh, great. Archie, I just told your mother the time. Didn't you hear me?
Oh, no, Dad, I was reading.
Oh, well, it's 9 o'clock.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
Only 9 o'clock. Boy, it sure feels later than that. Oh, I'm getting sleepy.
Archie, cover your mouth when you yawn.
Oh, yes, Mom.
Oh, well, I guess I'm getting sleepy, too.
Yeah.
For Pete's sake, Archie, what are you yawning about?
Oh, gee whiz, Dad, I can't help it if I have to yawn.
All right, but do it more quietly, please.
Yes, Dad.
Mary, what are you yawning about?
Oh, I can't help it, dear. Seeing Archie yawn makes me yawn.
Oh, fine. Well, he isn't yawning. Archie, will you please stop that?
Oh, gee whiz, Dad. Seeing Mom yawn makes me yawn.
Oh, fine. First you yawn, so your mother yawns, then you yawn. That grief, you got me doing it now.
Oh, it's making me do it.
Now, just a minute. Now, let's put a stop to this merry-go-round once and for all. Everybody stop yawning.
Yes, dear.
Yes, Dad.
Okay. Archie.
Okay, Dad, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but the trouble is, Dad, that I don't have anything to do.
Well, you haven't anything to do and you're sleepy. Why don't you go to bed?
Go to bed?
Yes, go to bed. A good night's sleep for a change wouldn't hurt you. In fact, we all ought to go to bed.
But, Dad, who ever heard of going to bed at 9 o'clock?
And what is so early about 9 o'clock? You know, if you must know, young man, it so happens that when I was a boy, we went to bed with the cows and got up with the roosters.
Gee, wasn't it uncomfortable?
It certainly was. You know what? Archie, it was not uncomfortable. I mean, that was just a way of saying we went to bed at sundown and got up at sunrise.
Gee, you did?
Yes, we did. And did it hurt us?
Well.
What?
Oh, I say, that's what makes you look so well.
Yes, you're darn right. Best thing in the world for people is to get a good night's sleep. Yes, sir. In fact, we'll all go to bed right now.
But, Dad, I'm not tired.
Archie,
Okay, Dad, okay. So we'll go to bed early.
I turn out the light, Fred?
Just a moment, dear. Just a moment. As soon as I get my slippers off and get into bed.
Fred, what was that?
I knocked the book off the night table.
Oh, all right. Sounded like you were wearing 3 slippers.
3 slippers? Now, Mary, who ever heard of a silly thing
Never
like that?
mind,
Wearing
dear.
3 times.
Can I turn off the lights now?
Yes, dear.
All right. Good night, dear.
Good night, dear.
Good night, Mom. Good night, Dad.
Good night, son.
Good night, dear.
Yes, sir. This was a great idea.
Yes.
Nothing like going to bed early.
Yes, dear.
Good night's rest does a man a world of good.
Yes,
Wake
dear.
up feeling fresh and chipper.
Fred,
Huh?
if we're going to sleep, let's go to sleep instead of talking about it all night.
Oh, yes, dear. Yes, you're right. You're right. Good night, dear.
Good night.
Gee whiz.
Oh, great.
Archie, what's the matter?
I can't sleep.
Archie, of course you can't sleep. You've only been in bed for half a minute.
I know, but I'm uncomfortable in there. The room is so hot.
Well, for pity's sake, open the window if it's too hot in your room.
Gee whiz, I never thought of that.
Oh, great.
I'll go open the window right now. I never thought of that.
Mary, sometimes that boy acts like he was about
Never mind,
half...
dear. Good night.
Good night, dear. Oh, good grief. What was that?
Archie opening his window.
Oh. For a minute, I thought he fell out of bed and broke his...
He didn't fall out of bed. He just opened the window like we told him to.
Okay. But does he have to slam it open like he was trying to tear the house apart?
Fred,
Our windows are built so they slide open gently, you know.
Fred,
if he's going to break the windows one of these days if he keeps that up.
Fred, all right. You can talk to him about it in the morning, but let's get to sleep.
All right, dear. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Gee whiz.
Oh, fine. Archie, what now?
I still can't sleep.
Well, Archie, is it still hot in that room with the window wide open?
No, it's too cold.
1, 2, 3, 4. Archie.
Yes, Dad?
Archie, I have a great idea of how to solve the problem of your cold room.
Oh, yes, Dad.
Of course, I admit that it's a rather difficult, unusual, and highly original plan, but I think you're capable of executing it.
Yes, Dad.
Close the window.
Gee whiz, Dad, I thought of that, but then it'll get too hot again.
Archie, look.
Huh?
The room was hot. But now that you've opened that window wide, you've cooled off the entire house. Besides, I lowered the heat for the night when we came upstairs, so it won't get hot again and your room should be comfortable.
Oh, okay, Dad. I'll go close the window now.
Oh.
Good night, Dad. Good night, Mom.
Mary, that boy, he can be the most
Fred,
exasperating.
let's not spend all night arguing about Archie. Boys are boys. Now go to sleep.
All right, dear, all right. Oh, good night.
Good night.
Oh, good grief. Mary, did you hear that?
Fred,
What is that boy trying to do? Rip the window right out of the frame?
Fred,
Why doesn't he just take a hammer and smash it if that's what he wants to do?
All right, Fred. You should have told him about opening and closing the window gently.
Should have told...
Besides, he's been slamming the window that way for years, and he hasn't broken it yet.
Oh, me, all right, Mary, all right. Let's forget the whole thing before my blood pressure boils over. Good night.
Good night.
Gee whiz.
Now what's the matter? Is your room too lukewarm?
Gee whiz, no, Dad. My room's just fine.
Then why don't you stay there?
Because this darn old alarm clock is keeping me awake.
Oh, fine. Archie, you have had that alarm clock for 10 years. Why does it suddenly bother you tonight?
I don't know. It seems louder tonight. Just listen to that.
Archie, if the clock's bothering you, leave it in here, and I'll wake you in the morning.
Oh, okay, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
Put it on the dressing table.
Okay. There.
All right, dear.
Thanks, Mom. I think I can sleep. Good night, Mom. Good night, Dad.
Good night, dear.
Good night. Oh, Mary, I
Mom!
don't... Oh, no.
Yes, dear?
Don't forget to wake me.
I
Oh,
won't.
Mary, I don't... Archie, will you please go to sleep?
Okay, Dad, okay.
Okay. Oh, Mary, I don't
Good
know.
night.
Good night. Oh. Mary, I don't
Fred,
know what...
I absolutely refuse to hear a word.
Yes,
If
but
the boy
that-
isn't trying to be difficult.
Yes, but-
he's just too wide awake at this hour.
but
and
he's-
going to bed so early was your idea.
But
and getting
I-
all upset over Archie isn't helping anything. Now, for pity's sake, let's get to sleep.
All right, Mary, all right. I promise not to say another word. Good night.
Good night.
Mary,
Yes, dear?
you know, that clock is loud.
Fred, ignore it.
Mary, how can you ignore that? Just listen to that thing.
Well, Fred, if it bothers you that much, do something with it.
All right, I will. I'll take it back to Archie's room.
Oh, Fred, no, then he won't be able to sleep.
Well, what else could I do with this frustrated time bomb?
Well, put it in a drawer.
Drawer?
Yes, then we won't hear it. Put it in the bottom drawer of the bureau. That's empty.
Oh, all right, dear. That's a good idea. All right. That's better. Maybe now we can get some sleep.
Yes, dear. Good night.
Good night. Oh, good grief. What's that?
Oh, dear. The clock. It's making more noise than it did before.
Oh, great. Mary, that noise will drive me out of my mind in no time. I take it out of that drawer. Goodness. There. That's better than that tom-tom effect. Sure. Well, now what'll I do with it?
Well, Fred, just put it in the clothes closet and close the door. That should muffle it.
Good idea. I'll try it. Good. Well, it worked. And that settles the problem of the noisy alarm clock. Now maybe we can get to sleep.
Yes, dear.
Sure.
Good night.
Good night, dear. Oh, good grief. The clock. I must have hit the alarm button.
hurry, Fred. Shut it off.
Got it. Oh, Mary, how...
What was that?
Archie, that was just the alarm on your clock. It happened to go off.
Oh, gee, I started to doze off there for a minute, and when I heard the alarm, I thought it was morning already.
Archie, it isn't morning, so go back to bed. And believe me, I'm very sorry it woke you.
Oh, that's okay, Dad. Good night.
Good night. Oh, Mary, I tell you, I've never seen anything like this. One thing after
Fred,
another.
please stop grumbling and let's get to sleep.
Mary, that's exactly what I would like nothing better than.
What?
Nothing, dear, nothing. Good night.
Good night.
Dad.
Oh, no, I don't believe it. I absolutely don't believe it.
Fred, if you hadn't set that alarm off, he'd be sound asleep by this time.
Oh, me. What is it now, Archie?
Well, nothing, Dad, but I just remembered I forgot to brush my teeth before I went to bed.
Oh, good heavens. Archie, what do you want me to do? Brush them for you?
Gee whiz, no, Dad. I only thought I should
Archie, I don't care what you thought. Go brush your teeth. Comb them, too, for all I care.
Gee whiz, Dad, that's silly. Who ever heard of combing your teeth?
Archie,
Okay, Dad, okay. It'll just take me a minute, that's all.
Oh, Mary, have you ever in all your life heard of anything like this?
Fred, you can't blame the boy. All his life we've taught him to brush his teeth morning and night. Now, what else do you expect?
Some sleep, Mary. I expect some sleep.
You'll get some, dear. This can't go on all night.
How do you know?
Oh, Fred, stop being silly and get to sleep.
Yes, dear. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, good grief.
Archie, what was that?
I dropped the bathroom glass.
Oh, great. Archie, do you have to get in all the trouble in the world at this time of the night?
Well, gee whiz, Dad, I didn't mean to, but my hands were wet, and when I went to rinse
Archie,
them
I
out,
don't
had to
care. I
get-
don't care for the gruesome details of the rise and the fall of our bathroom glass. Just go pick up the pieces and go to sleep.
And don't cut yourself, dear.
Okay, Mom, I won't.
His hands were wet, and it's
Fred, forget it.
But, Mary, you act as if staying awake was my idea. I came up here to go to sleep, not to...
Fred, I
not-
said forget it.
All right, dear. It's forgotten.
Okay, Mom, I got all the glass picked up, and I wiped the floor with a rag to be sure to get all the little pieces.
All right, dear. That's fine. Good night.
Good night, Mom. Good night, Dad.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, dear.
Good night.
Fred. Fred, what's that?
What?
A noise.
What noise?
That noise. Sounds like water dripping.
Mary, I don't hear... Oh, good grief. It is water dripping.
Oh, dear. Archie left the water in the bathroom dripping. Fred, you'll have to go shut off the faucet.
Shut up. Look, Mary, Archie left it dripping. Let him go and shut it
Fred,
off.
the boy's in bed now. Let him stay there.
All right, dear, all right. I'll go shut off the faucet. But so help me, Hannah. This is the last time I'm getting out of bed tonight.
That man, I don't know what...
Ow! Oh,
Fred, what is it?
Oh, my foot. Oh, my
Fred,
foot.
what's the matter? What happened?
I don't know. I cut my foot.
What happened?
Fred, how could you cut your foot?
Mary,
Must have
must have been a piece of glass left on the floor.
Gee whiz, I thought I got it all picked up.
Serves you right for walking around barefooted.
Mary, is this any time for lectures when I'm wounded and dying?
You're not wounded and dying. Here, let me see your foot.
Here.
Oh, it's just a little tiny scratch.
Yeah, but it's an awful big foot.
Archie, leave my big feet out of this. Mary, is the glass still in it?
Yes, dear.
Oh.
Just a tiny sliver. I'll take it right out, though.
oh.
There. How's that?
Well, that's better. Is it bleeding, Mary?
No, dear, but I suppose we'd better put some iodine on it anyway.
Oh.
Archie, get the iodine out of the medicine cabinet.
Yes, ma'am. Look out, Dad, so I can get at the cabinet.
Oh, never mind, Archie. I'll get it myself.
Gee. Dropped a few things, didn't you?
Archie, don't...
Fred Andrews, what have you done?
Mary, I didn't
Just
do it.
look at that.
Yes, but Mary,
Just
I'm
look
sorry.
at my iodine, mercurochrome, toothpaste, cold cream, hair tonic, cough syrup, and corn pads.
Mary, I
rubbing alcohol, witch hazel, mineral oil, lipstick, and nose drops.
Mary, please don't get...
Mascara, Band-Aid, shaving lotion, nail polish, aspirin, and Vaseline.
Mary, I wish...
Epsom salts, razor blades, bicarbonate, santan oil, vitamin pills, cod liver oil,
Mary! Would you mind telling me just what you hope to gain by reciting a whole catalog of drug supplies?
Well,
I know it's an awful mess, dear, but it was an accident, and I couldn't help it, and I apologize. And tomorrow I'll personally go down and buy out another drugstore for you.
Oh, yes, dear. But I suppose it's silly to get so upset. It's just that some of those jars and bottles have been in the family for years.
Yes, dear, and just like some of our relatives, they're not worth a thing. For Pete's sake, let's forget about it and get me out of this.
Get you out of this?
Yes, Mary. I'm standing here barefooted, remember? I don't dare move until they clean up all this broken glass.
Oh, dear.
Oh, gee whiz, that's right. You better not move an inch, Dad. You'll chop yourself to pieces.
I know that. But quit standing there crying over spilled iodine.
Yes, dear. Just stay right there, Fred. Archie, come with me.
Okay, Mom.
You get a broom out of the broom closet and then go up and sweep up all that broken glass.
Uh-huh.
I'm going down to the basement and get a bucket of hot water and soap to mop up all that stuff before it stains the floor up there.
Yeah, you'd better, Mom.
And you better take a dustpan up, too, Archie.
Okay, Mom, I will. Now, let's see now. Vacuum, carpets. Here's the broom and the dustpan.
Archie, hurry! I can't stand here all night.
Oh, I'm coming, Dad. I'll be there. Oh, gee whiz, now who can that be at a time like this? Hello.
Hello, Archie. Hi, y'all, Archikins. It's awful good to hear your voice, Archie. Dear.
Archie!
Gee, Veronica, it's good to hear your voice, too.
Oh, Archie, you say the sweetest thing.
Only to you, Veronica.
Oh, Archie.
But tell me, Veronica, how come you're calling at this hour?
Mary!
This hour? Archie, it's only a little after 9 o'clock.
Oh, gee whiz, that's right. I forgot we went to bed early.
Went to bed? You don't mean you were asleep?
Oh, no, Veronica. Not asleep yet. But we've been trying to get to sleep.
Archie!
Oh, I'm sorry I disturbed you, Archie.
Gee, Veronica, you didn't disturb me. I'm always glad to hear from you.
Well, the reason I called, Archie,
Yes.
well, I don't have anything to do tonight, and I thought we might go for a walk or something.
Mary!
Gee whiz, you did?
Uh-huh.
Oh, gee, I wish I'd known that. I'd never have gone to bed so early.
Archie!
But you can't get out now.
Gee whiz, no, Veronica. I'm in my pajamas.
Mary!
Oh, that's a shame, Archie. I was looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, me too. But how about tomorrow night? We'll go to a movie or something.
Oh, I'd love to do that, Archie.
Archie!
Okay, it's a date.
Fine. Well, you better get back to bed, Archie.
Okay, Veronica, and thanks for calling.
Mary!
Oh, that's all right. Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams to you, Veronica.
Archie!
Nighty-night.
Nighty-night.
Mary!
Bye now.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that Veronica. What a girl.
Archie, have
what
got the glass swept up?
Huh? Oh, the glass. Gee whiz, Mom, I forgot all about it.
Forgot about it.
Yeah, the phone rang as I was going up, and it was Veronica. And I forgot all about Dad waiting up there.
Oh, for pity's sake. Archie, you mean your father's been standing there all this time?
Somebody! Anybody!
Gee whiz, I guess so, Mom.
Oh, dear. Archie, give me that broom. I'll sweep
Here.
over that glass myself. You bring up that scrub bucket. Fred, I'm coming.
Okay, Mom, but I was going to sweep up the glass. Honest, I was. Gee whiz, what's everybody so excited about? Now, I might as well bring this bucket up. Gee whiz, now what? Gee whiz, Jughead.
Who'd you expect? Sleeping Beauty?
No, Jughead, I didn't expect Sleeping Beauty or you either. What are you doing here?
I just got out of the movies, and it was such a swell picture, I thought I'd stop by and tell you about it.
Well, Jughead...
You ought to go see it.
Well,
It's
Jughead...
all about good guys and bad guys and shooting.
Jughead.
Oh, it got me, dang it.
Jug, will you please...
Oh, I'm dying.
Well, Jughead, don't...
Jughead!
Bum. Jug!
Huh?
Look, that sounds like a very interesting picture, but I don't want to hear about it right now. I'm trying
Why
to...
not?
Because I'm
Don't
trying...
you always tell me about the pictures you see?
Yes,
and
but I'm
don't
try-
I always listen?
Yes,
a
but I'm
fine friend you are, a fine friend.
Oh, me, Jughead, look. I can't stand here in the doorway arguing with you all night. Come in and I'll explain what the trouble is. Come on in.
Well, okay, but...
Jug, look out for that bucket! Ah!
A fine thing.
Gee whiz, Jughead, did you hurt yourself? Here.
No.
Get up there.
Is that a nice way to treat a friend?
Jug, I didn't do it on
Just
purpose.
because I want to tell you about a movie, do you have to douse me with a bucket of water?
Jug, I didn't do
Now look at me. Just look at me. Wet pants.
Jughead, look. I didn't push you, and I didn't want you to get your pants all wet. It was an accident. Now, for Pete's sake, don't just sit there yelling your head off.
But how am I going to go home in wet pants?
Jughead, you don't have to go home in wet pants. Take those pants off, and I'll lend you a pair of my slacks.
Well, okay.
Okay. Now, come on up as soon as you get them off, and I'll get the slacks for you.
Okay, but it's a fine thing. A fine thing.
Oh, boy, that Jughead.
Archie, what's been keeping you?
Mom, I had a little trouble with Jughead.
Archie, never mind, Jughead. I've got the glass swept up, and I want to scrub this floor, so hand me that bucket.
Okay, Mom, but I want to...
Archie, what happened to the soapy water I had in this bucket?
Mom, I'm trying to tell you we had a little accident.
Another accident?
Well, yes, Dad. You see, Jughead's downstairs.
Hello. Oh, hello, Jug. Good grief, Jughead. Where are your pants?
Where are yours?
Oh, I left them on the night. Jughead. Never mind where my pants are. I'm wearing this nightshirt because I've been trying to go to sleep for the past half hour. But what are you doing running around here in your undershorts?
Well, that's what I've been trying to tell you, Dad. Jug tripped over the bucket of water and got his pants all wet.
Oh, for pity's sake.
And am I cold?
Archie, let Jughead wear your gray slacks.
I am, Mom. I was just going to get them for him.
Well, they just came back from the tailor's and they're down in the hall closet. Jug, run down there and get them.
Gee whiz, okay. It's a fine thing when you come visiting a friend, he trips you with a bucket of water, and then he makes you come upstairs and then go downstairs. It's a fine thing.
Jughead, if you're talking to us, we can't hear you.
I was just talking to myself, Miss Andrews. Are those slacks in the front hall closet?
Yes, Jughead.
Okay. Fine thing. I had to... Gee whiz, now who can that be? Gee, Betty.
Hello, Jughead. What are you... Jughead, where are your pants?
I forgot all about that, Betty.
I'll answer the door, Jughead, if you get... Oh, gee whiz, Betty.
Archie, what are you doing in your pajamas?
Oh, gee whiz, I forgot about my pajamas. Oh, Betty, I was...
Scrap Fred, and, Betty. Oh, Mrs. Andrews, what are you doing in your bathrobe? Betty, I was just getting ready to go to sleep. Anything so
What's
strange
going
about
on down here, anyway?
Mr. Andrews, what are you doing in that nightshirt?
Well, what's wrong with this nightshirt?
Nothing, Mr. Andrews, but why is everybody undressed?
Now, Betty,
I'm not undressed. I just got my pants
Jughead,
wet.
let me...
decided to go to bed early tonight.
Archie, would you
Fred,
please...
I have to finish cleaning up that floor.
Mary, will you-
Golly, I hope I didn't disturb you.
Betty,
people.
will you please... Jughead, Look, Mary, Jughead, Archie, Jughead, Mary, Archie, Jughead, Quiet,
I couldn't help it. It's not my
quiet,
He got me all wet.
quiet! That's better. Now listen to me, all of you. This nonsense has gone far enough. Too far, in fact.
Yes, Mr. Andrews. Yes, dear.
Yes, Dad. Uh-huh.
Oh, fine. Now, it so happens that half an hour ago, I decided to go to bed and get a good night's sleep for a change. But why couldn't I? Why?
Crumbs in the bed?
Yes, I had some crackers before. No! Jughead, be quiet.
Okay.
Okay. I couldn't get to bed because of Archie. Archie can't sleep. Archie says his room is awfully warm. It's too cold in his room. The clock is too loud. He wants to brush his teeth. He's got to talk to his friends on the phone. Then Jughead nearly drowns in a bucket of water.
Who nearly drowned? I can swim.
Jughead, be quiet.
Okay.
Now, I've had enough of this nonsense. I am going to sleep, and I'm going to sleep right now. Is that clear?
Yes, Mr. Andrews. Yes, dear.
Yes, Dad. Good night.
Oh, fine. Jughead, get those pants on and go home right now.
Oh, I am.
And Betty, I don't know what you came over here for, and I hate to be so abrupt, but you'll just have to come back tomorrow.
All right, Mr. Andrews. Come on, Jug.
Okay, Betty. Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night. All right. Now, Mary, you'll scrub that floor in the morning.
Oh, but Fred, I
No
have to
buts
get
about it,
back.
dear. We're going to go to sleep right now, and that's final. The floor will wait.
Yes, dear.
All right. And Archie, I want you to go straight to your room, get into bed, and stay there, you hear?
Yes, Dad.
I don't care whether your room is hot, cold, or indifferent. Go to sleep.
Yes, Dad.
All right. Good night.
Good night, Dad. Good night, Mom.
Good night, Archie.
Oh, now, Mary, let's go to sleep.
Yes, dear.
Oh, turn out the light.
Yes, dear.
No.
Good night.
Good night, dear. Well, Mary,
Yes, dear.
you know something?
Yes, dear.
I can't sleep. Is this room awfully warm?
Now, Fred Andrews, don't you
I
dare
just
start
asked you
that
if the
all
room was
over
too
again.
warm. That's all. I can stay warm. I can't.
The Andrews will be back in just a moment. But first, there's an old Irish legend that if you bury a bit of gold in the dark of the moon, the little folk will add more to it, and years later you can dig up a fortune. Well, that's just a story. But there is a way to make your money grow, and without depending on leprechauns. United States security bonds pay back $4 for every 3 you put in, and in only 10 years. Money invested in savings bonds today means security tomorrow. Don't trust in magic to make your dollars grow. Buy a bond today. When you own United States security bonds, you own a piece of your country's future. And now, back to the Andrews. It's an hour later, and after a few little difficulties with Mr. Andrews opening and closing windows, everyone finally got to sleep.
Fred. Fred, telephone's ringing. Fred, answer that.
Gee whiz, now who can be calling up at this hour?
Archie, you going to answer that?
Yes, Bob, I'll get it.
All right, dear.
That's a fine thing. Oh.
Hello, Archie. This is Jughead.
Jughead, what do you want?
Well, I just remembered that movie I thought you might want to go see. I never told you the name of it.
Oh, great, Jughead. Did you call just for that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, fine. All right, Jug. What's the name of it?
The Big Sleep.
Yes. Oh, no!
You've been listening to another chapter of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Carl Gempel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie was played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone. Mom and Dad Andrews are played by Alice Sherman and Arthur Cole, Veronica and Betty by Yvonne Mann and Rosemary Rice. This program is produced and directed by Kenneth McGregor. Listen next Saturday for more of the merry adventures of Archie Andrews. This is Bob Sherry wishing you all a very pleasant weekend. So long. Stay tuned for Meet the Meeks, which will be heard immediately over most of these stations.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.